forward in Malaga since 2003.
There is Carlos Kameni, the ex-Espanyol man out of Le Havre. 4 in the back. Luis Hernandez didn't work out at Leicester, and he could have a say on a champion this year. In the midfield, Nacho Camacho, the ex-Atleti man, joining Recio, former teammate of Isco. We'll talk about that in a moment. Fornals, Keiko, and Johnny. No Juanpi, he's out injured. In fact, there are a few players missing today. And Sandro, well, maybe his final game for Malaga. Barcelona, kind of ironic, viewed him as excess. And boy, has he been excessive for Malaga to the point where he could be on the move in the offseason. The two captains at midfield. Mentioned Atletico. Camacho actually coming up through the Zaragoza youth system. And just like Ramos, who came up through Sevilla, moving on to the big time. Keylor Navas in goal has been phenomenal of the late, and they have needed him to be, but it still might not be good enough to hold on to the #1 shirt with Real Madrid. We'll talk about that as the day progresses. About as strong a lineup as Zidane has in his arsenal. He's elected to go with Varane. Pepe still not quite there. Nacho in reserve, and up front, even though Gareth Bale did make the trek, gives you an idea of Zinedine Zidane's man management. He is not on the roster today. It will be Isco again up front.
This is not an easy game, Phil, for Zidane to manage, because you can get the title with a draw. And I like what he's put out there. He's put Danilo out there, Marcelo. They will go forward. They will be smart. Quick example, as a young coach in 2003, my first World Cup with the under-20s, I beat Paraguay. I knew a result against Germany would get us to the second round, a tie. I told my players, play for a tie. We lost 4-0. So your message the whole year is, we go after teams. We've scored 100+ goals on the year, and we're going to have a W instead of trying to manage this game with a tie.
We're looking at the brain trust in the president's palco, the balcony. Florentino Perez looking to celebrate a league crown, which in many ways has been the priority. They've won their 10th and their 11th European titles. Michel, a big part in the history of Real Madrid. He won 6 league crowns with Real, although the European titles eluded him. A couple of UEFA Cups in his past. So, good look at Zinedine Zidane. Still another big game on the horizon against his old Juventus. What a showdown that will be, but they'd like to already have a trophy in the case. We are waiting for the kickoff at the Nou Camp. Barcelona and Eibar, they're trying to time this down to a T. Ricardo de Burgos, one of the youngest referees in Europe, just 31 years of age, and already in his 2nd season out of the Basque Country. And he is getting the notice that we are just about to get underway. Malaga in the white with the blue. The dark road kits for Real Madrid, defending the goal towards the right. And again, we will keep you up to date on Barcelona Eibar as it goes. Early ball forward for Sandro. And the flag for Benzema, and the flag comes up. Benzema has not been scoring as much as he has in the past, but he has proven to be vital, especially with Ronaldo sliding more and more to the center of the park. Phil Shane, Thomas Rongen with you. And Thomas, growing up in the Ajax system and even in the NASL days with some tactical geniuses, give me an idea about Zinedine Zidane, because there were so many doubters at the start of the season. I don't think there's much doubt remaining.
There is not. You cannot. Earlier on, we said, you know what, he's kept the locker room happy. His rotation has helped to keep players also, as I said again, in a good frame of mind. They brought a great fitness coach in. He's mentally really kept those players very sharp. But the most important thing that we've missed, really, and you look at Sevilla 2 weeks ago, okay, they made some São Paulo made 2 changes after they went up 2-1. Editing on a midfielder, and Zidane goes, you know what, Morata, come off. James, come off. I put Casemiro in and Vasquez. We're going to get out of here with a win. It ended up being 4-1, but what a pragmatic and smart in-game coaching beyond his years.
Tactical adaptation. Ball through. Ronaldo on. Tries to get around Kameni. And less than 100 seconds in, Real Madrid draws blood.
One more thing, Phil, we have to talk about is transition attack. Barcelona's been perfect at that for decades. But Madrid stifles the midfield with Isco coming inside, Modric coming inside, making it a block of 4 with Kroos and Casemiro. They win it, and then they find... Again, look at this. Turnover. Who's there? Isco picking up that second ball. And then the timing between the run and the pass is brilliant. And then going around the goalkeeper and slotting it home. Real quick, Phil, on this particular case is that Mr. Ronaldo has become faster. He was 30 kilometers maximum velocity. He's at 32 in the last 16 games. He's become quicker and faster. Yeah, people, that's true.
Someone's been checking the computer.
I have.
By the way, notice the tactics there. If we get a chance to show that again. The initial ball in. Marcelo was staying near midfield. Normally we're used to seeing him around the opposition 18. But by having Marcelo near midfield, that kept the right back up in midfield, which isolated the 2 center backs on Ronaldo. So
very good, Phil.
Even with the ball being touched by Luis Hernandez, there was one less defender, and that was costly.
And again, in midfield, when Marcelo and Danilo go forward, and again, great ball.
Here's Ronaldo. He's got Benz inside. Now lays it back. Isco back wide for Marcelo, who joins in the attack. Benzema trying to read the curl, but the pass, for once, goes awry.
And if Danilo and Marcelo just step up a little bit and give that width, they keep the white midfielders also very honest. And the ability of a Modric and Isco floating underneath Benzema and Ronaldo allows you to press the ball quickly and find turnovers, which Isco did at this particular time.
And there is the table as it stands. And I guarantee you there was a huge sigh, not of relief, at the new cap. Just 2 minutes in, and now what that means is, because remember, a draw is good enough. But as you mentioned, Real Madrid out of the gates not looking for the draw. But that Malaga will now need to score 2 goals to give Barcelona any hope.
Madrid is going to try to put this away, Phil. We're not going to see anything different than the 75th minute where they might say, or Zidane might say, through a sub, when the whole team says, okay, he's taking Benz off, he's putting a midfielder in, we're going to lock this up and we're going to win. Right now, look for that second goal with aggression, the right mindset. By the way, they've scored 64 games straight right now, best in Europe. So basically, you go in a game saying, okay, we're going to give one up against Madrid. So Malaga might look at this a little bit differently, okay?
Casemiro with a nice ball. Charging in Danilo. Into the 18, has a go himself, but it goes awry. Danilo stepping in the injury to Dani Carvajal, and the Brazilian right back has done well. Plenty of reason for Florentino to be smiling.
And here's the goal again. Isco improved. And you know what? He placed that ball so early with the outside of his right foot. You don't see that very often. That's a hard technique. And then Ronaldo makes it look simple. As I said again, his speed has become part of his game now, better than ever before. Rounds the goalkeeper and puts that one away. But Isco really is the one that really was the IQ, the brains around this. You have to have awareness before you get the ball where Ronaldo is. And his soccer IQ, Isco's soccer IQ has been huge. Again, simple outside of the football, with a little bit of spin, away from the defender, with the right pace, perfect.
Into the strong foot of Ronaldo, although at the moment, I don't know if there's anything weak about the Portuguese attacker. 25th goal of the season, and the 11th time this year he's opened the scoring. So in the past, he's had a criticism of tacking on to games already won. Not this year. In fact, maybe one of his best. Kroos back. Ramos outside of the boot into the path of Ronaldo. His touch for Kroos goes awry and reclaimed by Malaga.
And that's a good point, Phil.
Wide for Keiko.
Ronaldo in the last month, Bayern Munich, Sevilla, scored some key goals. I think him and Ramos might be the two guys that have scored more key goals to get a win or a tie, a point versus 3 this whole year.
Nice towards Recio, but Real stiffens, forces Malaga all the way back. And again, Kameni, so acrobatic, athletic. But the pass from Isco and the touch of Ronaldo put him in an impossible situation. 1-0 the score, Real Madrid. 6-point lead in the table. Or actually 5 points now. Barcelona with 1, with that match still level. And it will be the 33rd crown in La Liga for Real Madrid if they can hold on. Zinedine Zidane looking on, and Malaga now with a chance to level, but look at that. Maybe, just maybe, the life sucked out by Cristiano Ronaldo's goal, but Eibar in the Nou Camp with a goal. We'll show you that in a moment. Ball lifted in, cleared away by Benzema. And now that extra point in favor of Real Madrid. Out on the far side, it will be a throw, and Modric eager to take it. Mitchell looking on, but at the Nou Camp, take a look out wide. It was Ander Kappa sending the ball in.
That's the Achilles heel this year for Barca. The weak side of defending. Any ball in the air has troubled them somewhat. And look again, Rakitic late. Right fullback gets sucked in. That's a goal for Eibar.
Just his second goal of the year for the Japanese attacker. Beautiful ball from Ander Kappa, who, in fact, Barcelona, ironically, has looked at acquiring in years past. So, for Real Madrid, everything seems to be going their way. There would need to basically be a 4-goal swing, 2 for Barcelona, 2 for Malaga, to upset the apple cart.
And if this goes Madrid's way, they are deserving champs.
Chance now tucked across by Recio into the path of Johnny Rodriguez. Out wide, Rica looking for Sandro, but cleared away. Another thing we haven't really touched base on, there are a lot of Real Madrid fans here, but there are some Malaga fans who were trying to will their team on. Saw some of the jerseys early on. Nice little touch to the inside, again into the 18, but Modric there to snuff it out. The goal in the second minute takes the crowd out of the game. Chance here on a lazy back pass right into the path of Suarez. Tries to go around the keeper with the outside of his boot and sends it wide. Joel, a sigh of relief, and it's already been that kind of afternoon for Barca.
I would 99% 1v1 against the goalkeeper and Luis Suarez. That's a goal that sums it up early on for Barca.
Isco battling for it. Deflection takes it back to Marcelo. Somewhat similar to the one that Ronaldo converted. Here's Isco with a delicate chip over Ronaldo. Falls for Benzema. Cleared away by Camacho. Fans appealing. Now another chance for Kroos. Ben's hanging out near the spot. Isco trying to weave some magic. And a little too strong on the challenge to Recio.
The transformation under Zidane and Isco has just been, him and Modric are really, and we don't talk a lot about them. Isco's got some goals, he's got some assists. Modric numbers are lower this year, but they are the engine room of this team on both sides of the ball. They make Ronaldo click, they make Benzema click, they sacrifice for Marcelo going forward as well, and then Casemiro and Cruz just tactically so smart.
Long ball forward, brought down by Keiko into the middle. Here's Yanni, but never quite had the angle.
And that's still a dangerous team going forward with obviously Fornales. You just mentioned Johnny on that left side, Sandro, Camacho, Keiko sitting in there. That's a team that you can't give any freedom to. Although, Phil, they've given up 53 goals. That's more than any team out of the top 11th, and Malaga's in 11th place as well. 12 wins, 15 losses. This always was a tough task, but Michel's got them going in the right direction with 4 big wins at home.
Danilo, but tackled away. It will be a throw-in for Real. Many of the Malaga fans on that side thought it went off the Brazilian, but no. You take a look in the lower reaches, you'll see a lot of that powder blue and white, but in the upper reaches of La Rosaleda, there are a lot of Real Madrid fans. In fact, there's talk that many of them spent about $1,000 to loan the season ticket for a day.
I've loaned a lot of things for a day, but not a season ticket.
Well, this could be dangerous. Keep an eye. Keiko on this near side, charging in. Sandro on target, but the shot saved by Navas.
And that's the danger, obviously. We just saw Barca getting punished a little bit. This is where the danger is when you send Danilo, when you set Marcelo forward, and deep runners now are going to go on the counter, and then they have all of a sudden numbers up. Well done by Ramos by standing him up, and then Navas again with a quick reaction near post. You can possess, you can go forward, you can have Marcelo high and Danilo, which they've done the whole year, but you put Varane and Ramos under great duress on the counter, and that's why Casemiro and Kroos are so important in terms of their balance.
Well, whipped across, calm, and then back out to midfield. Well, it is the final match day, and the title still to be decided officially, even if maybe in the early moments Ronaldo gave us a hint. Cross wide. Ronaldo again puts the motor in overdrive to get there. Marcelo drives it across, bends, brings it down, shot deflected wide of the target and out for the corner.
And that's again a great ability for Madrid to get numbers forward and then find isolations if you can on that weak side. Great run against Ronaldo out wide, and then that beautiful cross off the trailing Marcelo. Bench just can't get a real good piece of it. Good defending, by the way, in a 1v1 situation.
Villanueva getting in the way. It is out for the corner. Sun moving on what has been a mostly sunny day. Although,
and going back to Ronaldo real quick, we've seen this incredible organic way he's morphed from an out to in winger to an in to out winger to a channeled striker. What I mean by that, Phil, is there's 3 channels. The main channel 1, 2, and 3. You see him scoring a goal in channel 1. Where is he? You know, getting the cross in to Marcelo in channel 3. The ability for him now to play in all 3 channels, that to me is the modern 9, which he is.
Ball touched back for Miguel Torres, ex-Madrid player in his own right. In fact, mentioned 2012, the last title. The one before that was 2008. Torres part of that one back in the Galacticos days. Into the corner, under pressure. Ramos plays it out off the attacker for a throw-in. Was talking about how the title on the line at kickoff on this final match day. Something that could not be said in Italy, even though Juventus did win today. There's still one more round. Bayern Munich had clinched a while ago. Monaco midweek. And in England, I think everyone knew Chelsea was going to win pretty much since December, and they made it official earlier this month. So in Spain, down to the wire. Villanueva a little shaken up.
Most leagues that we cover, you know, there's still some drama as well, be it relegation, be it not. That's almost the goal we saw again. France, we've got drama with Monaco winning it this year, and still a game to be played, I think, for the relegation battle. Same in Italy as well. Juve, 6 straight, Phil. I'm telling you, it looks easy, but it's not.
It's never
to
been done.
sustain that success on the highest level for 6 consecutive years.
Never won a European title and either cup or league. This year they could win all three, which would be history. Something Madrid's looking to do that they haven't done in a while. With their hand on the trophy here a quarter hour in, they have not won the league and European double since the days of Di Stefano back in 1958. So
the only time what I remember about Madrid is against Tenerife, I think it was 92, 93. They lost 2 straight. You remember? Michel actually was playing for Madrid, and Enrique was on the bench, the coach of Barcelona.
And Valdano, the man who still pulls a few strings for Real Madrid, was the Tenerife coach. Did it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Nice move, Fornals. Out wide, Keiko, 25-year-old out of the Atleti system. Good give and go. Chipped across. Danilo. Many thought he was the punchline to a joke, but again, credit to Zinedine Zidane. He rewrote the script.
He certainly did, and that's a great example of we saw Barca doing a poor job on a cross on the weak side. Danilo, when he's high, his recovery speed athletically to get in a good position, to be able to get goal side and then make contact with his head is so important from a defensive standpoint.
Another run for Ronaldo. Pops up, lunging for it, Luis Hernandez. Kept in play by Malaga, but again, pinned deep in their own end. Good ball curling into space and a chance to push forward for Federico Rica, the Uruguayan. Looking for help.
Now, he's been great this year, 22-year-old Uruguayan, as you said, Phil.
Spent more than a decade in the Real Madrid Fabrica before moving on to Sporting Gijón.
And a lot of players do that because, you know what, they want playing time. I think Sandro is another example. He just said, you know what, I need to start. I need to play in order to develop as a young player.
Luis Hernandez and the Danubio product Rica both on that left side of the defense here. Fornals just a little over-eager.
I used to do that, Phil. I got to step on somebody as a defender, and they touch me, whoop, I went down. Normally, you get a free kick 9 out of 10 times.
Although, Thomas, when you said you got to step on someone, I had a different picture in my mind.
Yeah, normally
not that you sharpened the cleats or anything.
I was rarely the recipient. You're right.
20 minutes
Ray
in.
Hudson, and then it could be a say, hey, Thomas, muy fuerte. Hey, come on, tough, and then give me the ball. I said, okay, boys, no problem. And that's why you look at the Casemiro, Modric, Isco. They do the same thing.
Danilo just built a wall and slamming into it, but De Burgos saw movement, almost like a moving pick here, and the leg does come out. Hard to argue.
Yeah.
Good move by Johnny Rodriguez.
And one coaching point, Danilo, don't become stationary with your feet wide. Keep moving, because you know what? There's nothing you can do except making contact, not great 1v1 defending.
And also never square up, in effect. Always have your angles. 20 minutes in.
I want to force him outside, not inside. Very good. And your body language opening up will tell you that. You're only going this way.
Here is Sandro.
You could be a coach, Phil.
Ball blasted into the near corner, and Navas over to slap it away. He hits the post, and down he goes. Keylor Navas sacrificing his body to preserve the lead. Brought over from Levante at the tail end of the Iker Casillas reign.
And there we get a look at it, Phil. That is brave. He makes a pretty good save early on as well. That the willingness, which he didn't do early in the year, he gave one up, and Gary Bailey gave him some stick for that. Because he knows now he is going to clatter into that post. You have to be brave. You have to be strong. And then obviously athletic as he is. Get that right hand. That's a strong arm. That's a strong wrist. And that's a strong post, Mr. Navas. Well done.
Keylor Navas, of course, tail end of last season, Achilles surgery. Kind of hard to get that spring.
It is.
And no real concern. Kiko Casillas still on the bench, so they expect Navas to be okay.
I've been very fortunate this year as chief scout of the U.S. national teams to see him play for Costa Rica. Obviously,
wait. Very unfortunate as the chief scout for the U.S. to see him play.
He is spectacular. And I know there's always been, should we bring somebody else in? But on the big moments like this, he's been there for them throughout the year. Only 3 losses, Phil, on the year.
Best goalkeeper in CONCACAF, and probably much more than that. But maybe not quite good enough for Madrid. Could have been a foul throw. Ramos clears, though. Again, David De Gea not in the lineup for Manchester United, so I think Jose Mourinho knows how the tea leaves lie. Down goes Benz. His momentum got away from him. Here comes Malaga, but Modric snuffing out that chance. Isco.
Look at those two. Modric, Isco. Just again, the engine room. They are freelancing as well right now, which is okay going forward, Phil, but sometimes that freelancing forces you being unbalanced all of a sudden, and they don't, because Cruz and Casemiro are so good in keeping the shape of this team with, but more so without the ball.
Ramos.
Look at Cruz. Look at him. Marcelo's gone. I'm going to go to the left side of that zone. I'm going to pick up a ball, and I'm going to keep possession.
Kroos starting almost as an attacking midfielder in the Bayern system. At Leverkusen, they dropped him back into more of a holding one, which is what Zidane tried to do, although Kovacic taking over the Casemiro deputy role. But what that has done is allowed Kroos to return to his roots. Probably not a better player on a set play in Europe this season. And he's proven to be pretty good from the run of play.
Ramos has definitely benefited from that, but saying that Ramos is a great target. You saw on the other end his defensive heading ability, but also in set pieces for. And Zidane has worked on that situational coaching and set pieces day in, day out. It's paid off for this team.
Ronaldo now over on that right side. You talk about 3 channels. I kind of see 5 if you count the wings. And at the moment, he's pretty capable in all of those positions. Here's Marcelo.
The channeled striker, the modern 9.
Well, behind Marcelo, Casemiro snuffs out the chance. Back into the middle, just behind Benz. Out to Isco, the Malaga native. Kroos thought about it. Wide for Marcelo. The Brazilian, a 10-year veteran already, tries the cross. It's headed away for the corner.
Second phase defending, we call that, Phil. They've kept the ball alive now 3 times by winning that second ball, which is so important as well. You got to sniff that out. And again, the Casemirs, the Kroos, the Modric, Iscos, they're always there to compete and keep them sustained pressure with the ball going forward.
20 minutes remain in this opening half. 1-0 the score here. Barca trailing by a goal at home against Eibar. Kroos sending it high, just over Ramos. Cleared, but only as far as Modric. The Croatian makes the defense disappear. Measures the cross, delivers. Ramos, but he couldn't get on top of it.
Just a delicate little move by Modric out wide to buy a little bit of space and trying to find Ramos that still stays obviously in that 18-yard box, because again Madrid recovered the ball. Look at the pressure field there. 3-4 guys hunting.
4 times in history Barcelona has won, entering the final round in 2nd place. Most recently 3 years in a row, 92, 93 and 94, but at the moment, it doesn't look like there will be a repeat. Still plenty of time, though. More than an hour.
Oh, it's a funny old game.
Fornals. Again to Pablito.
We might have to wait till the Cibeles, sings. Or stop singing, actually. Try to put on her makeup in Madrid.
Have a feeling even coming back from Malaga, the bus will make its way through the plaza. Nice for Sandro, but got away from him, cleared away. And that is Real Madrid's
Look at the commitment to defend. Look at where Ronaldo and where Benzema's starting position is. We call it the first line of defense, and now you're playing out of a 4-4-2, basically. Look at that block of 8 that has become, and then it becomes very tough.
Only trying to fight his way through, but Danilo got there first. However, they do give up goals. They make it difficult, but they do give up goals.
They do. And this team, as I said again, does get hurt at times when Marcelo plays so high up the field that it becomes very hard on transition defense when some teams go on the counter.
Plucking it away again, Casemiro doing that dirty work. In fact, Real Madrid, the 4th best defense behind Atleti, Villarreal, and Barcelona.
But, Phil, what to me is more important, only 3 losses on the year. Less than Madrid, less than Atleti, less than most other teams. That's remarkable, giving up more goals than some of those teams. That's an ability. That's a mental state. And Zidane has done a masterful job by instilling that, I think, in his team, that on any given day, we will win.
Good double team on Kroos, but again it's Casemiro. Whistle blows, though, and a free kick for Malaga. 12, 10, and 15 for the Anchovies. They've actually given up more goals than scored, and they will be 11th win, lose, or draw. Nice ball from Modric, in for Ronaldo. Diving lunge by Hernandez. Ronaldo gets it back, and Kroos sends that one into the stands.
Again, just a great aggressive defending in that middle third that springs that counter with Ronaldo. Cruz just trying to be a little cute there, getting the first time.
Sandro coming back, Ramos staying with him, but caught him on that raking challenge.
A tough one, Phil. You know, sometimes when the number 9s drop into midfield, do I go, don't I go? And Ramos and Varane both now, because they play with one on top, one goes, one keeps some support and depth. Very good. Even if it's a foul right now, you got to stop really the key guy going forward, far away from goal.
Recio switches to the near side. Keiko back. Madrid born, although through the Atleti system, the Malaga right wing. The idea was good. Ramos,
if there's
getting a derisive cheer.
One real fault, I mean, looking at Zidane right now, is how can you make sure that your back 4 doesn't lose concentration once in a while? Good example of that by Rasmus. That's a lazy ball.
The edge of his technical area, Zizou. On the throw, it's Hernandez. Found his man, but the header just over the crossbar, and Navas reintroduces himself to the post. Coming off a defender, so Malaga will get a corner.
And Malaga's very good on their set pieces. Look at that long throw, which becomes a set piece in the corner as well. That's always a threat, so it's important. Varane, Ramos, make sure
19 set-piece goals this year. Driven inside, a little heel flick, overhead volley. Varane trying to get it away, instead sends it straight to Camacho, who is not happy with Marcelo here.
Camacho, the holding midfielder, tough guy that normally dishes out, gets a little bit from Marcelo.
And Marcelo being the peacekeeper. Let's take another look. Oh, and now you see why. Marcelo's cleat landing on Nacho's face.
Yeah, just unfortunate. I mean, Nacho's trying to do something that is very spectacular, gets himself in a weird position, and Marcelo's really trying to get out of the way, makes contact on the way down, but that's just a unfortunate incident that Camacho will play on.
Smart header near side, right to Keiko's boot, but forced to retreat. 10-2-6. They've gotten points 67% of the games, and 10 wins. Not bad at home for Malaga. They do have a win and a draw against Valencia. Head-to-head is the first tiebreaker, which is the advantage Barcelona has over Real Madrid, but they need a few more goals to go their way. Varane.
Wow, that's amazing, Phil. So you're telling me they've only won 2 on the road and 10 at home? Oof, I didn't know they were that good. Outside of the fact that they've won 4 straight against some very good competition, like Valencia, like Celta, I think, Barcelona.
Last year, Sevilla, who were woeful away from home. And they'll be looking for another coach. Word is it's Eduardo Barisa who will be leaving Celta, as Jorge Sampaoli going back home to take over Argentina.
One word, mercenary. 8 clubs in 10 years, including the Chilean national team.
It's nice to be wanted, though.
Yeah, you know what? But look at Simeone. He hasn't said anything about Inter. Hasn't said anything. This is my club.
Oh,
you know what? Wait till after the season. Don't go. It's my dream job. I love it. You know what? If I was a player, I wouldn't want to play for this guy the last 2 weeks knowing he's leaving.
Today,
just very
in fact,
unprofessional.
Simeone coming out and seeming to say the clearest way he could that he will be staying with Atletico to open up the new stadium next year.
And that might still change. There might be certain things that he wants right now in his 6th year. I think it is, Phil, maybe going to his 7th year in terms of transfers, more money to want to win La Liga. And if that's not happening, maybe it is time for him to move on. He's got great options.
In fact, Argentina might be in his future as well before too long.
And those were the 2 guys immediately that were mentioned, Simeone and Sampaoli, after Bauza got correctly so fired from his job. But Simeone never said anything about Inter or Argentina. Sampaoli obviously really wanted to be the PR machine and making sure that he's going to end up there.
Well, Zinedine Zidane's not going to be going anywhere. And probably neither is Mitchell, since stepping in the middle of March.
Done a great job. Middle of the table, 11th, 10th spot.
They were just above the relegation zone when he stepped in. And in fact, up until last week, had a chance to break into the top 10.
Him, Hero, both.
Still remember 82
beautiful.
Spain.
Oh my God. I do.
Against South Korea, where he scored, I think, 4 on the day. But regardless,
that team
fun to watch.
Butra up front. But lost in the final day twice. So
Zidane saying get up.
Hopefully.
Ronaldo was hoping for a foul. Keiko's cross blocked. And now Isco fights through the hold. Rica trying to stay with him. Isco just swerves the other way. Benzema from the left. Sneaks it across. Isco the slide. In for Ronaldo. Back to his left, but denied by Kameni. Finally, his left foot falls short, but only a brilliant stop by Kameni. Here's Kroos. He can shoot on a hop into the chest of the Cameroonian.
The brilliance of Isco to go down the heart of the midfield at a back 4 like he does right now here. It puts tremendous duress. People now become compact, and then all of a sudden wide play is available. Well done, Benz. Oh, Isco just gets there. Ronaldo on that strong left foot just misses, but what a good attack again, inspired by Isco, who's been, we're talking about Ronaldo, we're talking about Ramos, we're talking about Marcelo. You look at the amount of starts, he didn't start all the time, and the production from him, with and without the ball. Great goalkeeping, as you said, Phil, by Kamani, the Cameroonian international.
Well, 14 goals now in the last 9 games for Cristiano Ronaldo. And you talked about the 64 matches straight. Well, that includes the 38 games this season. First time Real Madrid has ever scored in every game of the season. And there's still one more big game to go.
And there's still
that will be against Gigi Buffon.
Yeah. And there's one more goal they would like to get just before the half, Phil, to put this thing out of reach. It stays 1-0. Do you let Malaga get back in the game maybe late at 1-1, and all of a sudden, last 10 or 15 minutes, all hands on deck. So they're pushing the game right now, Madrid.
Far side, Rica. Inside, Profesio, back. Camacho.
See the difference there between Barca and Real Madrid? More pragmatic under Zidane. You know what? We got to defend around our own 18 for 10, 20, 30 seconds, a minute or two. We're willing to do that. And when do you see Messi, Suarez, Neymar defending that deep? And I think the problem for Barca right now is that their press was always so good.
Good chance for Kroos, but tries to get the perfect chance. Loose Kameni. In comes Benzema. but the flag had come up on the Frenchman.
On Benz. But going back to Barca again, where they've lost their legs, Phil, is in midfield. Iniesta's done somewhat. Busquets. So when that first initial vertical ball gets into midfield, they're done and the counter is on. Cruz. He's been in good positions right now. Plays very advanced and gets some shots from distance. The athletic Kameni again joining on the spot, and Benz when the ball's being struck offsides.
Isco, but Kameni had read it well. Kameni stepping in to that starting position. Memo Ochoa, another CONCACAF goalkeeper. Pretty good Mexican international, stepped in but could not dislodge Kameni.
Stay tuned, U.S. fans. June 8th against TNT. June 11th in Azteca against Mexico.
The curse has been broken, hasn't it?
Sorry?
The curse has been broken, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
By the way, this was touched away by Varane. Tab Ramos and the U.S. under-20s starting their World Cup tomorrow. It'll be 4 a.m. if you want to wake up that early and follow along and maybe see the stars of the future.
Mexico won the CONCACAF Championship. Phil, and PKs barely beat Vanuatu, I think, which is an island next to where I used to work, American Samoa.
And Costa Rica upended by Iran, so there could be some upsets. In-swinger here, punched away by Navas. They'll do it again. 73 degrees. Sun starting to set. 46% humidity. A little breeze from the south. Flipped up, off the deflection and just wide. Dreaming of what might have been Sandro Ramirez.
You know, that's the only problem right now. There've been 3 or 4 shots from distance, and we call that shot blocking right now. Isco, don't turn your back. You got to go there. You got to be brave. You got to shot block that ball, because any kind of deflection is going to be trouble for Navas.
Keiko was the one who flipped that on. Back to the Nou Camp. And another break up the middle. Suarez. Now this one, Joel might have gotten a touch.
Yeah, he did, Phil. You're absolutely right. That's actually great, because that's slotted really near post. The only thing I would say, Suarez, don't open up and make it that predictable. But a pretty good strike, even better save. 2
breakaways for Luis Suarez, and El Pistolero shooting blanks so far. Meanwhile, Cristiano Ronaldo, that goal now his 40th in all competitions, which is actually his lowest haul since his first year at Real Madrid. And I would argue that the goal's very valuable. Had 51 last season, 61 the year before.
Okay, you know what would be a nice little thing? You might hear you see it again. Isco just coming late and then turning his back, a deflection. This particular point of a Malaga player, but that's always tough. Having numbers in front of a goalkeeper, anything can happen with a deflection. But, Phil, Isco's number this year a lot higher than last year. I'm sure they are. Marcelo's numbers, even goals, but more so the assists, higher than last year. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Cruz maybe even better in terms of that as well. So, if you become somewhat unselfish, which since the final that Portugal played, where Ronaldo became the de facto assistant coach, where he cared about the team, we've seen another Ronaldo's willing to share.
Volkswagen halftime show coming up with highlights and more from both La Rosaleda and the Nou Camp. Good ball inside, headed just up and over by Keiko. Coming even closer this time.
Ramos is immediately looking at Marcelo and saying, give me a shout. Where are you on that weak side? Here you can see it again. Weak side of ball comes in. Marcelo's tucked in. Ramos in a 2v1 and just says to Marcelo, you have to tug in so I can stay with the other striker. And that's where this team at times has fallen asleep a little bit in concentration. Marcelo's been sometimes too much, people say, going forward and shrug his defensive responsibilities.
Still a chance for Malaga, and if they can find that goal just before the break, it could make for an interesting second stanza. And they've been on the front foot over the last few moments. Fornal's out wide. Lunging header, Varane, who is also another player playing near his best in the decision-making time of the season. Slid across. Casemiro. And a good outlet ball to Isco. Up, 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 screams Zidane. Came up through Benamiel, which is kind of a suburb of Malaga, before moving to Valencia and then eventually back to Malaga. Did Isco. The move to Real Madrid could pay some more dividends today. There's a $1 million bonus should Real Madrid win the title with Isco on the roster. So, I mean, that was part of the concern. Even if Malaga loses, they win today. But they've been playing an honest game here. Real Madrid just made it difficult out of the gate. Ramos guiding that to Marcelo. Mentioned the 40 goals for Ronaldo. That's now 7 straight seasons he scored at least 40 for the Madrid side. Maybe with Mitchell you sense Malaga turning back up. This was a team that was challenging for the crown not that long ago. Although they kind of went on a similar path that Monaco did, electing to go with youth as opposed to superstars. Monaco's just had a little more success with it.
And this is a Malaga team which we all knew with Michel that they would come out and play. There's pride at stake. Your last home game, you get to go 5 straight wins.
Benz. Ronaldo back towards the Frenchman, but offside, and Kameni makes it a moot point regardless.
Nice again to see that interplay between 2 strikers right now out of that 4-4-2. Look at Benson, and continues his run, and yes, he is offsides, but Ronaldo normally would open up and go to goal.
Well, you say normally. In the past he would have.
Correct.
But this is the new normal.
This is the new normal. You're absolutely right.
And again, credit to Zidane.
Yep.
There again, the table, a 6-point gap. Atleti had locked in 3rd place a couple of rounds ago. Sevilla the same for 4th last round. Villarreal locked into a Europa spot. Sociedad as well. And Athletic, kind of interesting. There will be a Basque team, 2 Basque teams in Europa League next season. Sociedad already assured. And it will be Athletic if Barcelona wins the cup. But it also could be 9th place Deportivo Alaves if they can get the upset. What a season it's been for them in their return. 9th place. Sandro upended by Sergio Ramos. And then Gijón, Osasuna, and Granada all going down. Levante has already clinched promotion. There's still 3 rounds left to go in the Segunda, so Girona not that comfortable. The other Madrid side, Getafe, talked about Tenerife, Cádiz, all in good position for the postseason. Lifted by Gioni. Could have been a little bit of a bump, but offside the call first. Meanwhile, Huesca and Oviedo also fighting it out to get into those promotion playoffs. Ooh. Closer than it looked. And maybe, just maybe, Cesar Garcia on this near side got it wrong.
I think you're right, Phil. And Zidane is not happy.
You say,
not
get up,
happy.
get up. Don't make it that close.
When you get your lines up, not playing active offsides, but get your lines up a little bit quicker prior to the ball being played. So you want to dictate to the forwards what's going to happen and not have the forward dictate to you what's going to happen. That's always a great mind game. And Zidane, correctly so, get up.
Never make it close enough where the referee can have a say. Marcelo escorted to the ground. Ramos and Sandro renewing their love affair. Just a few seconds left. Can Malaga make them pay? 5 goals in his last 3 league games. Ronaldo's second minute tally the difference so far. Ball to Danilo. Casemiro looking long, but Ricardo de Burgos blows the whistle. We are at the half. Ronaldo's goal the difference in this one, as Real Madrid has a 1-0 lead and a foot towards Cibeles. Meanwhile, Takashi Inui giving Barcelona something to think about. Eibar leads at the Nou Camp at the half. The Volkswagen halftime show next. Second half. And a bit of synchronicity. The Nou Camp in Barcelona. La Rosaleda in Malaga. And it is the roses for Real Madrid, the thorns for Barcelona at the moment. Phil Shane, Thomas Rongen with you. And Thomas, the discipline that we have seen from this Real Madrid squad, even when they are vulnerable. Here, Toni Kroos with the errant pass. It all seems to be part of a philosophy of Zidane. He is not against putting themselves in vulnerable positions if it can be for the good of the attack. Chance inside for Sandro, stolen away.
Very good point, Phil. This team should normally dominate throughout. Possession is 50-50. This is Barca. It's 60-40 probably in Barca's defense, which probably is happening at home right now. Might be 70-30 and they're down 1-0 against Eibar. Again, this team is just way more pragmatic, and there's a few other things in there. More tackles succeeded by Madrid. More aerial duels won by Madrid. That tells you about a certain toughness, a certain mental toughness, a certain winning mentality, which is not easy to instill. Again, give Zidane some kudos over whatever games they've played, all competitions, maybe 3 or 4 losses. Brilliant.
Nice tuck around by Johnny Rodriguez. Now back from Rica. Johnny flying forward, drives in, tries to get around Danilo. The ball does, he doesn't.
And again, Casemiro, well done, doubling, helping Danilo on both sides of Marcelo as well, and them being an outlet to start the attack. Wow, he's valuable. He's so valuable. That's maybe the biggest change that Zidane has made when he came in.
Marcelo weighs the pass for Ronaldo, gets it back, bends an Isco in the middle, but harassed by Keiko, and Malaga wins it back.
And going back to Casemiro, that midfield triangle was the most. Cruz as the holder, and Zidane said, you know what, I need a little bit more of a balanced team in terms of when we lose the ball, and that's why Casemiro, who played at times, became a 100% starter for Zidane. And Isco, let's be real honest, if Bale is fit, became somebody off the bench. He's been brilliant without Bale and has been very important, but that balance, I keep talking about it, is just brilliant. Shields up back four all the time, is tougher than Cruz, both physically and mentally. And then Cruz all of a sudden becomes the facilitator on both sides of the ball. That's just, for your first year on the highest level, that's way beyond your coaching years.
Inside, Nacho looking to Fornals, forced to retreat. Malaga surrendering the first goal. 11 of their 19 home games, but they still bounce back with 10 wins and 2 draws. So not over for Real Madrid when it comes to winning, but again, they would need to lose the crown. Ramos harassed by Keiko, but stays with the ball all the way. Quickly out the other way, it's Ronaldo. Short, choppy steps as he drives to the inside. Nice tackle to take it away. Miguel Torres, it looked like his ex-teammate. Recio out wide. Keiko cuts inside Marcelo. Sneaks it back for Recio into the area. Recio, and what a stop by Navas, smothering the chance.
You're right. Shots are pretty even, but shots on target might even favor Malaga. I looked at the stats real quick at halftime.
4-2 Real. That would be 4-3 now. Little slip by Keiko, but Sandro maintains possession. Look at the bodies between Sandro and the goal, though. Sneaks it back for Camacho. Sandro pops in front of Kroos. Nacho in front of Isco. Again, credit for Mitchell. He said he would be even twice as Madrid as Valdano was. Cleared nicely Casemiro, calmly under pressure. There were some that were expecting Malaga to roll over to have their bellies scratched. It hasn't quite worked out that way. Strong challenge and hard hit sees Ronaldo go down.
Good hard tackle. Yes, there is contact eventually with Ronaldo, but it's still, in my book, a good tackle through the ball, somewhat through the player. It becomes a 50-50 because, a little bit of surprise, Ronaldo's actually extending himself and wants to win the ball and knows he's going to get some contact. Here we go.
Cleat comes up here. Is it shin to shin?
No, it's boot to shin. And if you look at this a little bit here, oh, Phil, you know what?
It's above the shin pad, and the cleat is extended and open.
Yes, I'll take that back. That's a bad foul that we only saw on the third replay in slow motion, by the way.
Federico Rica maybe getting a bit fortunate there.
That's the great save again by Luis on Ronaldo when he goes on the counter.
It was Hernandez's blunder in the second minute that led to the opening goal, somewhat making up for it there. There, as you take a look, some of these fans spending $1,000 for this experience. Ronaldo limping back towards the sidelines and serenaded as always.
It ends up being somewhat of an X-rated tackle, Phil, really. The ball is played somewhat, the stud goes up and actually continues to go upwards and does connect with Ronaldo.
So Mitchell there on the sideline.
That's the long throw again, Phil.
Whipped in by Hernandez, almost to the spot. Ramos soars. Fornal sends it back, but off target.
And that's why Madrid has won the aerial duels right now. Long throws, set pieces, and corners. Pretty much most of it goes to Varane and Ramos. Also, an interesting thing, Phil, is when I go on the road as a chief scout, I look at patterns of play. I look at tendencies of teams as well. And
well, take a look, if we could, at the Nou Camp. Barcelona fighting for an equalizer. Good play by Neymar to create the chance. Back for Iniesta. Good control by Joel, though, slapping it wide, and Suarez couldn't put it back inside. Ronaldo double teamed as we take a look back as he gets knocked to the turf again. So Barcelona starting to turn the heat up.
Nothing there. As we figured, Phil, you go real quickly to Barcelona. 75 versus 25 possession. Total shots 8-4, as we expected, but no goals.
Ball slipped inside the 6. Poked free. Chance for Sandro. Cuts inside Isco. Good ball out wide. Ramos upfield. So Casemiro there. Keiko hurdles the Brazilian. Real still with numbers back. Marcelo cleared. Cross back to defend. Recio off to the near side. Finding Sandro Ramirez again, but the run never came.
Well done by Madrid. The only criticism I have here, and that's when I've seen Zidane a few times push out, step. When you play a sideways or forward ball, oof, there comes Casemiro just a little bit late. You keep your line somewhat stationary. As soon as there's a negative ball being played backwards, you come 2 yards, 3 yards.
Whipped inside. Hernandez again in the way. Benzema putting the pressure on, so the 28-year-old center back just rolls it away. Good run, Danilo. Quick thinking from Pioni, though. Out for the corner. Malaga fans thought maybe it should go the other way. I was going to say Mitchell in some ways knows what Ronaldo is going through in a similar position. back in the 80s and 90s, just before the Zidane era. Part of the Quinto de Buitre. Ball driven in, denied, rebound, buried. Benzema cleans up, and Real Madrid turning garbage into goals.
Who was involved, Phil? Toni Kroos, Mr. Ramos, and who was on the doorstep just to put it away and not put this game out of reach yet, but go to 2-0 at the 55 minute.
Let's see. It looks like Espanyol arguing that it shouldn't have counted. Kameni getting a card for his arguments. And maybe another. He's saying a few magic words to De Burgos. Well, worth another look. Here's Kroos. Met on the volley by Ramos. Deflected by Ramos again and straight to Benzema. And did it come off of a hand?
Kameni has an absolute good argument. This is, and I'm putting myself somewhat on the line, Phil, but this is offsides.
Well, we'll take another look at it. Regardless, the goal will count. And that maybe puts paid to any thoughts of an upset. At least when it comes to handing out the title, it would mean 3 Malaga goals would be needed to take the trophy away from Real Madrid.
Good question. Which Madrid player came off the chest, though? It's Varane. That's the issue, because I think when it hits the chest of the Madrid player, Varane is in an offsides position. Here you go, Phil. Look at the chest and look at Varane is. Goes to goal. Hits.
Off Varane, Ramos maybe a foot in front, but it goes behind him to Benzema, who scores.
In my opinion, is offsides.
Well, you can make the judgment. Watch it again, facebook.com/beInSportsUSA. 4v3. Ronaldo leading the break. Isco tries to square. Nueva and company knocking it back to midfield temporarily. 28th goal scored off of a set piece this season by Real Madrid. And everything seems to be going Real's way. Take a look again, shredding the Eibar defense. Suarez this time decides to pass it off, and Messi can't score. Disbelief at the Camp Nou. Eibar just missed a chance to double their lead before the break, but Barca easily could have had 4 or 5.
And Messi goes with the right foot, by the way. Probably thinks, you know what Ronaldo can do, I can.
Now here comes Malaga. Sandro dishes off. Out comes Navas, forcing the chip by Keiko, and everyone else was just watching.
Defense in 6s and 7s right now. Although Navas gets not a piece of this, Phil, does very well. The only way to get the goal is to chip this ball. If he doesn't come, it's a strike on the ground, trailer to goal. It was much harder. Well done, Keylor Navas.
Sun starting to set in more ways than one. Driven by Rodriguez across, headed towards the corner, and plucked out of midair. Nacho denied by Navas.
This becomes an easy save because he's so quick. Look at the feet, boom. And most goalkeepers get there with one step, parried out of bounds. Wow, clean, good technique, fast, cat-like, and holding on to the ball, even more important.
Ball falls for Casemiro, elects to sneak it to Ronaldo. Isco with that center channel run. Look at Real flood forward. In for Benz, but out comes Kameni. Well, it came down to the final match day. Let's take another look here. There's the first touch from Ramos. And it looks like maybe a foot offside.
I'm pretty good when it comes to that. Foot, inches, centimeters, millimeters. I knew it was offside somehow.
Benzema works on a different yardstick.
And let's look at the assistant referees now from their standpoint. They need to see the ball. They need to see the defensive team. They need to see the attacking team. They need to see the movement on the first, second, and eventually the third touch that falls to Benzema. Almost impossible. It took us what? Well, actually, it took you, Phil, 3 times to say, I think you're right. I don't envy those guys. I really do not.
Keiko exits. Good game for the youngster. Chori Castro, the veteran Uruguayan, stepping in. First season from Sociedad. Here's Fornals, forced wide. Half hour to go. Looking for Rodriguez, but headed away. Danilo. There's our Twitter handles. Feel free to share your thoughts. Of course, beInSports.com for all of the latest as the La Liga crown about to be handed out. Real Madrid fans celebrating. Well, still around the 6. Varane contorts his body to get it out. Modric starting a break the other way. Malaga had committed to that set play and now scrambling back. Cross. Marcelo. Isco begging for the ball, but the cross won't get there. Fornals in the way. Exchanging pleasantries with Ruben Rui Perez, the 4th official, and again the way things stand. Athletic not in Europe yet. That all depends on whether Barcelona wins the Copa del Rey. But meanwhile, in the Camp Nou, things going from bad to worse. Barca can't score for trying, but another goal for Eibar, another goal for Inui. The Japanese striker had scored 1 goal this season. He's now scored 2 against Barcelona on the day. By way of curiosity, the first Japanese player to ever score against Barcelona at the Camp Nou, and he liked it so much he's done it twice. So it is all over but the shouting, and I guarantee you there's some shouting going on at the Plaza de Cibeles right now.
As much as we praised last week or the week before Marlon and Umtiti, right now they've struggled there defensively. Roberto is out, and I even saw that again. Gomes, the 21, being slow in reacting defensively, and Eibar punishes you. The Achilles heel, as I said again, of Barca throughout the year.
Well, they do have La Decima, La Undecima, and now finally back to a league crown. Maybe. Still a half hour to go, and a lot can change, but it would take script writers better than what Hollywood has. Casemiro ruled to have bumped. The foul called as Fornals tumbles.
Fornals is so good in the 1v1 situations. Left, it's Ramos this time with Casemiro just impeding his progress. A professional foul, we call that, Phil, and smart again.
There, you take a look. An own goal, it appears, against Eibar. We'll jump to the new cap in a moment. You see James Rodriguez, maybe his final game for Real Madrid. And Mateo Kovacic getting set to check in. Here's Malaga, and there goes the chance off the set play. Swinging across Rica. Take a look again at the new camp. Barca with Messi wide for Neymar. Off the post and then trying to clear. It is off Junca. The own goal against Eibar, who have scored 3 times at the new camp today, once into their own net.
A brilliant Messi. Very good Neymar this year as well. They're still lethal. This game is far from over. Barca can strike 3 times in the next 10 minutes and have had the opportunities to be up 3 or 4-1.
Meanwhile, Jose Luis Mendilibar, even with the lead in the finale in Barcelona, not happy because he knows what you said could happen. And again, for Eibar, a chance to climb to 8th place if they can hold on for those 3 points. Ball back to Villanueva out wide. Here's Tony Rodriguez. Recio. Fornals. Rica. And again, there have been some reports that Malaga would not put out an honest effort. It's been anything but. A touch of fortune on the second goal for Real Madrid, which does give them some breathing room. Interesting anecdote from Johan Cruyff I'd like to repeat in regards to calls and favoritism. Get to that in a moment. Here's Marcelo lifting it in. Ronaldo on the curling run, but he reached out and grabbed Rica on the way. I know you were sharing this on the locker room as two subs off the bench. Isco will exit the Malaga kid. And a round of applause from both sets of fans. The hometown and the Madrid side. '200th game for Isco. And unless there's a massive turnaround here, it will be 40 straight without defeat. Casemiro will be the other player coming out. Mateo Kovacic, an attacking midfielder when he came. Let's just say a more versatile one now under Zidane, will step in. So Modric, Kroos, and Kovacic in that three-man midfield. Good game for Isco.
Great game for Isco. Let me just give you some numbers here. 90+ in pass accuracy. Great assist on the first goal. The ability to maintain possession and always be a threat running at that back four. Yes, very influential. As he's been this whole year, Phil.
Danilo just launches it high into the air. Now we saw some managers electing to bring some kids up to give them a run out in the final game. With the title on the line, Zinedine Zidane really did not have that luxury. Ball across for Benzema. Drives on his right. Tried to thread it through in the path to James. Still in play. Marcelo almost creates the opportunity, and it's deflected wide for the throw. Ben's thinking, what if? Still Asensio, Vasquez, Morata, and Nacho. And the backup keeper, Casilla.
Outside foot, right foot, left foot. The low center of gravity makes it almost impossible. Yes, Zidane.
Does he stay? Can they afford to let him go?
It's up to Isco at the end of the day, and James. Can Zidane convince them that they will still get not 100% starting time, and would they be willing again to sacrifice, which Zidane does so well for the team?
You see those Malaga fans behind the goal continuing to shower their support.
They get unhappy, Phil, cut out the cancer. And he will do that. He's ruthless, Zidane.
Kroos from the corner. Sweeps it in. Doesn't get past the near post. Fifth corner of the day for Real Madrid. Good hustle, Modric. Kroos on the turn. James, was he off? Well, deflected. He'll let it run smartly. It'll be a throw-in. Talked about Mitchell. Missed the World Cup thinking Spain. It was Italy '90 where he scored that hat trick. Became a legend. Actually went to Mexico to close out his career with Butragueño at Celaya. And some had thought his days at Getafe and the like was not destined for managerial greatness, but I think he'll be around. He might not have Sandro next year because I think there will be some big clubs calling.
He's been great. 14 goals. Again, the last player that scored more than 14 was in 2003-2004. Salva Ballesta with 19, Phil.
Now Charles stepping in. Wasn't that long ago. He was the leading goal scorer in the Segunda, helping Celta. Take a look. It's a penalty kick chance for Lionel Messi. And this is live as Messi strikes, and it's saved. tipped up and over the bar. Barcelona denied again. Joel Rodriguez.
Wow, Phil. He obviously gambled. He went to one side, and because Messi hits his shoelaces very hard. What a great save.
That's the first miss this season for Messi from the spot. Last year he couldn't score from the penalty spot to save his life. This year he finally misses on the final day of the season, and it took a world-class save.
Yeah. And mutual respect, you can tell right there. You know, he's not blowing him off. He could easily do that, give that little handshake and keep moving. These guys feel totally part of this team. And again, Zidane managing 12 through 20, and I've tried to do that several times, is incredibly hard.
Well, that's really where it's made or lost in many ways.
Yep.
As you said, once a cancer starts to grow, Modric across the 18. Kroos, but it's on his left. Swings it wide. Nice try. James! Again, Benzema caught by the flag. This time it does go up. Just a little eager.
Just a little, yes.
.200 games for Isco in the top flight.
They got so many young. I think the future for a decade for Madrid is so much better than it is for Barcelona, with the current players they have and the players on loan like Theo Fernandez. Am I correct? You got Asensio, you got Vasquez, you got players under 25. There's probably 10 of them in this squad as well.
Well, one of them, Diego Llorente, unable to play today. Yep. Normally he'd be in there on the back line for Malaga. Also have Marcos Llorente, who's at Alaves. Well, Jorge Rodriguez exits, and the eternal captain, they call him, Duda, no doubt about it. Sergio Barbosa, his final match for the 36-year-old.
It's a little bit of a curtain call right now that Michel is doing. Sandro, give him a round of applause. Leading goal scorer, the captain, the heart and soul of this team. Give him a chance to get some applause from the fans as well. Not giving up. This team has worked very hard. And all the conspiracy theorists, forget it. This is just a very good performance against a team that worked extremely hard to make it tough for Madrid. And Navas at 1-0, Phil probably makes 2 key saves to keep his team at 1-0 throughout the first half.
Well, before this match, Duda out at midfield. Wellington, the big Brazilian defender. Di Michelis, the Argentine, all honored for their service with Malaga, but their time likely done. Danilo pays the price. And final substitution, Benzema will exit. The insurance goal, Chendo sending him to the bench with a low 5, and now Alvaro Morata onto the pitch, and you wonder whether he sticks around, especially with Ronaldo more and more sliding in to the center forward role. Is there room for Morata? Suarez has just equalized. We'll show you that in a moment, but again, it would take 3 from Malaga to change the table.
Looking at Zidane again, I think he's the master right now. Listen, he respects the board, but it's my way, and it's been done that way as well. He's being consistent towards his players and the media. He's been great, and he'll make the right decisions, Phil. Does he think right now that Benzema has become maybe next year an off-the-bench guy? Morata is the starter? Is Bale a guy that he says, you know what, is not my guy, not my type of footballer? I take Isco.
Take a look here as the ball flipped to the back post, and a lunging boot from Suarez puts him on the score sheet. Good flick by Paco Alcácer. They still need 1 more goal, and they need a miracle for Malaga with a quarter hour plus to go. Rica in for Duda. Headed up and over. And it looks like there has been more action at the Nou Camp. Another penalty, and this is live. 75th minute in Barcelona. It will be Messi again. Joel Rodriguez slapped it over the crossbar the last time. Coming from 2 down, Barcelona looking to take the lead. It is Messi. This time Joel can't push it wide, and Barcelona's in front.
Bringing aside the relief there, but I also love that Messi steps up after his first miss and then buries it. Shows you the class of that gentleman and the class of Barcelona to get back in this game. Well done.
Rico out wide.
Regardless who you root for, Phil, these have been 2 magnificent teams throughout the year. Barcelona and Real Madrid. What a joy they've given us, and what an incredible drama again it's come down to the last day. How can you say Barca's not good? And it might only win 1 title, and not the most important of the 3.
Here is Duda, 36 years of age, ex-Sevilla, ex-Cádiz, ex-Vitoria Guimarães. Driven up and tapped over by Navas just in case. Good idea by the big man in the back, Mikel Villanueva. Duran making himself enough of an obstacle. Wonder whether Duda heads home and maybe sneaks in. His old buddy Eliseo winning the Portuguese championship with Benfica this year at the tender age of 33. Duda, always one of my favorites. Trying to pull a rabbit out of the hat here. Morata sending it high. This is dangerous. Out comes Navas to punch. Trying to meet it on the volley. Fornals deflected away. They'll move to the far side. 3rd straight corner.
Got to give him Madrid a little dose of their own medicine. Winning second balls around the 18-yard box. Madrid has done well by just staying tight and block shutting. Look at Ronaldo right now. Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Gave each of his teammates bear hugs on the pitch at the start of the match. And they did come out red hot. A little chilly at the moment, though, as night has fallen. Blasted up and into the stands. So Barcelona in front. They now have the 3 points in hand. Whether they can put them in pocket, but it will not be enough if Real Madrid can hold on for this final 13-minute span. Malaga making them work for it. In for Recio, the 26-year-old prodigal son, lifted back in, headed towards the corner, but high. Camacho just off the mark. Thomas, as you said, it has been anything but easy, and that's now 14 shots to 12. Malaga outshooting Real Madrid.
And Zidane cannot be happy. If you just looked at that, Marcelo is caught at the field. He still wants Ramos and Varane just to step a little bit more, but you don't get between the 12 and the 6, and now attackers will be able to gain an advantage, and anything a goal is going to be tough. And I said again, balls go backwards, step. Ball goes backwards, step, and we end up at the 18-yard box instead of defending our 6th.
Ronaldo sneaks it in. Morata on his left foot. Nice tackle, Hernandez. But it will be a corner for Madrid and more time off the clock.
Morata, who's so good in finding those seams, those channels. And what a good ball in, by the way, as well from Ronaldo. Again, supplying this time Morata with a good opportunity, good defending.
Ball dropped back for Marcelo. Malaga was still shoring up the defense. Cleared away Hernandez again. Well, you talked about it in the pregame. Judging by their recent run, took over in March 7th, but it took them a few weeks to get Malaga believing. After that first month of adjustment, they've only lost 1 match. In fact, 6-1-1 over their last 8 in league coming in. So anyone that thought this was going to be an easy victory hasn't been paying attention. And then again, the last 2 against Celta Vigo and Sevilla weren't easy. It just looked that way on the scoreboard.
Did.
Flipped on by James. Kovacic harassing. Good work, Malaga out wide. Duda on that right flank, poked out for the throw-in. Rica giving it his all.
It's very interesting to see that Zidane has been more engaging in this game than he's been in most other games. Now, certainly, huge.
He can taste it, though.
And he wants to, he wants to inspire his team. And
Rica doing good.
One of the things, well, he hasn't been there as a coach. Well, he has been there as a player, believe me. And that's an incredible experience that he can relate to guys that also have been there. So they got a lot of things in common. A lot of these guys, including their coach, are winners. And that's on display through 80 minutes, Phil. Again, not pretty at times, but very effective.
Malaga unable to beat Real Madrid the last 8 meetings. It was 3-2 back in 2012, the last time they did. But it took 2 late goals from Roque Santa Cruz, the Paraguayan, not out there today. 10 minutes remain.
Listen, when I won the championship with DC United in '99 in Foxborough against the LA Galaxy with Ziggy Schmidt as the coach, I let them have the ball, which is a little bit against the grain, but I knew if I could block the midfield against Cienfuegos and against Kobe Jones, I had a chance. We score on a bad goal given up by the Galaxy and end up winning 2-0. Sometimes you got to sacrifice.
And again, the goal scored in the 2nd minute gives them that luxury. They never had to really panic.
Very good, Phil.
And again, that goes down to the coach as well for setting the mood for the game.
Yes, because I said before the game, it's hard to manage a 1-1 situation. Real quick again, when I was the under-20 coach, my first time in the United Emirates with Clint Dempsey, with Johnson, with Ricardo Clark, Chet Marshall, very good key team. Freddie Adu, Convey, we beat Paraguay in the first game. My first time. I looked at group play, there's 4 of us. We tied a game, 4 points get us in. So I told my team, after I coached them for 2 years, to go after people, which is the American mentality as well. Sit back, guys, okay? Schweinsteiger, Podolski kicked our butts for nothing. So we had to get a result against South Korea, which we did, and we lost in overtime against Mr. Tevez and Macheran of Argentina. But for me, an incredible learning experience.
3-2 at the Camp Nou. 2-0 here. The extra with a complete recap of what would be Real Madrid's 33rd Spanish title. Flipped by Duda, but too much on it. No chance for Chori. And what might well be his Malaga farewell. Possession in favor of the visitors, but not by much.
You look at, again, I look at games with a little bit of a scouting perspective, because I've been able to scout throughout my life. I enjoy watching games, and I'm breaking them down and look at tendencies of teams. And that's my responsibility right now, being able to get back to our head coach and say, you know what, these are areas where they're strong. These are areas that we can really expose them. And if you look at Madrid under Zidane, 50% of Varane's and Ramos as well are vertical into Cruz. Then we think we're going out to the midfielders. No, Cruz 50% to
ball headed up and away. Well, let me ask you this.
Ronaldo, and then eventually Marcelo gets involved. In the old days, I was taught as a center back, play your right fullback, play your left fullback. It's become so predictable. So what happens is now you play vertical through lines, everybody gets compact, and now we go to Marcelo and Danilo like they're almost wingers, because that's where the space is. So that's brilliant as well. Patterns of play, and you can work on them.
Although again, with Danilo and Marcelo caught upfield, it can stretch the midfield with Kroos and Modric pulled wide, and that's probably something that Juventus's scouts are looking at.
Absolutely. That would be Alves, Sandro, Marcelo, maybe Carvajal or Danilo, whomever. Out wide is we're talking about all the big players.
And that opens the door for the likes of a Pjanic.
Left backs exactly might be able to change this game.
Good chance for Recio. Sneaks it wide. Castro to the inside. Denied by Danilo. Rico snuck it in, but the shot leaves a bit to be desired from Charles. David Bertoni, longtime compatriot, comrade of Zinedine Zidane. Always important to have one of those.
And his strength has been throughout this year. We call that situational coaching. 4 out of 5 days, they've brought this team inside, okay, where it's almost like a cool-down situation against younger teams, and they go through set pieces for and against. Walking. You're not exerting yourself physically, but at least we know we're on the same page.
Lifted up and edge of the area, Navas,
and that has paid dividends. Phil, in particular, again, that second goal comes of a set piece again.
They know the score in Barcelona, maybe a little more nervous than it was 10 minutes ago. Barcelona at the moment in front. Their job is done. Can Real Madrid hold on for 5 more minutes? Here's Marcelo looking to ice it. Marcelo, but his right foot fails.
In modern foot, and that's one of the great things Zidane is. He surrounded himself with experts. On this level, you have the money to do that. An massage therapist, a dietitian, a exercise physiologist, a strength and conditioning coach, a mental coach. And his assistants have done a great job. They've stayed pretty much injury-free with their key guys throughout a long year, which is great.
And maybe one reason they're still strong, if not stronger, at the final finishing line. 4 minutes remain.
And I think that's very important, Phil. When I started coaching MLS, we didn't have a dedicated practice field. I had one assistant coach, and the story. And I'm not saying that's the reasons why, but the luxury of these coaches, video analysis, whatever it might be, to prepare your team, that your assistant coaches do. And you're, at the end of the day, the guy comes in the locker room and says, all right, boys, let's go, let's win.
Although something that Mitchell probably doesn't have, at least not all of it at his disposal. Good read by Navas. Malaga. Best they've ever done as far as trophies go. 4 times they've won the Segunda. Did make it to the quarterfinals in Europe twice, including in the Champions League back in 2013, but more modest goals. And again, they will finish 11th regardless of what happens here today. Morata inside, slapped away. Nice save by Kameni. Still Danilo, but outside the box. Threads it through. Modric, near post, kick save. Kameni to the rescue again.
And again, Zidane has done a great job of making the subs at the right moment. Here again, you can see again. Oh, that's a nutmeg pass, by the way, to Modric with the toe poke, which is so hard. And that's Morata going far post. You go, why are you taking out Isco? Why are you taking out Benzema? Well, James gives you just a little more calmness and more possession. Because you know what? We don't have to hunt for a third one necessarily, but keeping the ball is better. And Morata gives you, boom, still that opportunity to go to goal.
Kroos from the corner. 6th of the match, flicked on by Nacho to the back post. Here's Marcelo. 10 assists on the season, looking for number 11. Well, actually looking for goal, but his shot goes off target.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Isco a double-double with an assist today, maybe, Phil? Maybe 10-9, 10-10, like Steph Curry. Draining them from the outside, setting up the Ronaldos of the world. Incredible. I know how physically demanding it is to play in that position, Phil. He's got a threshold of the red zone. We call that 180 plus in terms of heartbeats that he can sustain throughout 90 minutes. Incredible.
Out wide, Duda. Nice touch, Recio. Here's Fornals. Nice tackle by Kovacic. Came over from Inter. And he had a verbal bite. Now he's got one on his cleats.
And again, you know, when they go, why Casemiro? Well, Kovacic shows you here that he's made a nice turn under Zidane as well, and he can defend.
Recio gets it back from Fornals, but not much room. Tucks it wide. Shorty Castro off the arm of Navas and off the crossbar and out. The Uruguayan had him dead for rights, but resurrected. Ronaldo. Now Danilo with a Marcelo-like run. Flag stays down.
Marcelo, look at this. Danilo is in the 18-yard box.
Nice grab, Kameni. That's your right back and playing on the left wing.
And now Kroos is going to recover, and Kovacic is sitting in there. And Modric again, you know, the willingness to defend.
But again, they give up goals because they take risks. And maybe it might cost them here. Into the gap left. Varane over to snuff it out. Corner kick, Malaga.
Can't say enough about Navas again, coming up with this incredible save. And he's keeping himself big, so to speak. He's not guessing. And the ball just hits him somewhere. It comes off the crossbar.
Chance for Duda. So gifted. Kovacic, though, with the block. Back for Castro. Near post header. Up and over from Charles Diaz. And you could see the Madrid fans ready to cheer, but there's still another minute to wait. So it is 2-0 Real Madrid. Cristiano Ronaldo scoring first. Benzema scoring 10 minutes into the second. A hint of offside, but defensively they've kept Malaga at bay. And here Kovacic getting a little greedy, though. Ramos to the rescue. Back heel Fornals. Recio into the box, but offside. Charles draws the flag. Back to Barcelona we go. Another goal, and it's Messi with his right foot proving he does have one. So even with the missed penalty, scores 2 goals late. And 2 goals for Inui, giving Eibar hope. Barcelona snuffs it out with 4 straight.
At the end of the day, Barca did what it had to do, Phil.
And Pepe doing what he has to do, making some fans happy. Now if they can maybe just get his signature on a piece of paper. Final seconds. Barcelona up to 90, but Real Madrid to 93. Their 33rd league crown with a 2-0 win at La Rosaleda. Life is a rose garden. Florentino Perez exchanging pleasantries with the owner of Malaga, Sheikh Al-Thani, ruling the roost, Real Madrid. Cristiano Ronaldo's goal giving Zinedine Zidane his first league title as a manager. And the fans who spent some up to $1,000 to borrow a season ticket for a day, well, they'll have reasons to smile all the way back to Madrid. And Barcelona ending with handshakes and dreams of what might have been. In fact, you could say it was Malaga that cost them. Back on April 8th, the same scoreline. Their own Sandro Ramirez and Yoni scoring that took 3 points away from Barcelona that are so vital at the end of 38 rounds. It was not to be for the Blaugrana, resting the crown away on the final day of the season. Real Madrid, their first since 2012. I have a feeling the water not the only thing flowing at the Cibeles right now. And the Malaga fans on their feet, witnessing a good game. Gareth Bale making the trek. And again, part of the Zinedine Zidane thought Even if he knew he wasn't going to play, he wanted the big man